making faces. I'm making animated faces in different colors. Let me demo. So let's show what I did yesterday. Okay. So I've been working on one way of doing this. I ended up deciding to change it to a different way based on some pretty good advice from a guy that popped into the stream yesterday. Goes by Cicada. So what I found with my recoloring is that it was making these artifacts around the edges where colors join, and that was because I was trying to replace the different areas of color with multiple operations. So if you see where my mouse pointer is at, I was trying to replace the color of the nose, or that same colors over here in the ears, as one operation, and in a separate operation replace the color of the mid-tone aspect of the skin and the shadows, and the pixels between those color areas. It was I don't know, they needed to be blended more than they were, and then I explored some ideas about how to blend those together. In the end, I decided, let's color all the pixels together. That was Cicada's idea. It was pushing at me, and he pushed successfully. I said, let's just recolor all the pixels. The thing that made that work, to do one operation to recolor all the pixels, was changing the algorithm a bit, so that not only would I recolor them, but I would recolor them based on adjusting the hue in a general way for all the pixels, not finding some that match and some that don't, and also applying a contrast operation. So let me take the same guy here and do one of the other. In fact, I'll do all 6 of the different skin tone standard settings I've got. This one is white skin. Let's do pale white. So I go in here in this configuration file and I say pale white. That's what we want, right? Okay, and then it recolored the pixels to give me a pale white. And so like someone with like ginger hair or very pale skin, right? Or maybe some areas of Asia, there might be a lot of people that have this kind of pale skin too. So that's pale white and white. Let's go look at the other ones. We've got light brown. Okay. Then we got moderate brown. Okay. Dark brown. Okay. Now one thing you'll notice, and I'll come back to this in a moment, is that the colors of the eyebrows and hair are getting darkened too. And we got like some green down here, which is the hue change being applied to it. The teeth are dark. That's basically what I'm going to fix today. Okay, but let's see the last one. Black. There we go. So it's using, I did some screen captures to show like all of them at once, but it's using this as the starting asset. This and then this, and these colors here get shifted. Yeah, and then so if I come over here to my little test, I just screen captured from the web browser and pop these in. This was beneath is a reference that I was trying to match against that some other artist on the internet put together. It's based on something called the Fitzpatrick scale, which is 6 common skin types. Which oddly is not really a scale that was designed for visual arts. It was designed for dermatologists. But it happens to give a pretty good range of skin types, it's probably not entirely correct to think of coloring skin as being on one linear scale, because there's also some other hue adjustments that go into it. Like you can have someone that's about this dark of skin, but more or less of a golden tone to it. Right, or you can have some people that have a more reddish tone to their skin. So it's not just darkness, but this is pretty good. This is pretty good, and it represents like a lot of things you might want to do. And also I have an override capability where I can say don't use any of those 6 Fitzpatrick scale skin types. Just go ahead and specify how you want to adjust the hue, saturation, and brightness, and contrast. My one innovation to this was to change the contrast so that it doesn't touch the shadows as much. I created something called a brightness threshold, where I said we're not going to mess with the contrast unless it's above a certain brightness, and also we're going to blend between that cutoff point, the pixels there, and then the full recolorization or the full contrast adjustment. So all those things together I'm pretty happy with. The thing I want to do next is create a mask that will stop this mouth area from getting changed, and the eyebrows and the hair. Anything besides the skin, I don't want to be adjusted by the algorithm. So let's start with the head. And I'm just thinking about like how this is going to be laid out. I believe what I want to do is have a mask just directly to the right of this whole thing. So if I double this width, I'm not going to try to do that in my head today. 566, okay. Okay. Then maybe I can get this mask. Maybe I can get this mask with color matching. So I'll say it doesn't have to be contiguous. The part I'm like just a little bit hesitant about is this join area here. I think ideally the mask that I generate would have like a soft alpha around this join here. Okay, that's interestingly, it's grabbing pixels out here. That means that they've got a low alpha, so they don't show up, but they still have a value that's matching the color pretty well. Let me do contiguous again. I'll try picking that and just deleting that, clean that up a little bit. Okay. See, that's not what I want to do. All right. Okay, let's do non-contiguous again. We'll do tolerance 1. Okay. I think more than that. Let's do, keep adding to it, 5. try it contiguous. I think that might go better in the long run. Okay, let's do that. That. Just clicking stuff until like all this stuff is kind of selected, but that's pretty inefficient. Okay. Let's just get past a lot of that by just picking the shape. There we go. Yeah, I really wonder what's going to happen here. It doesn't look too bad, to be honest. Like, I suspect that there is no comeuppance to having this single pixel border that's around here, or blending pixel be darkened a little bit. I know it's not correct. It's not the most correct way to make this adjustment. I just don't know that this particular asset and the way it's laid out is so important that I need to futz with it a lot. Because this is just like a junk asset. It's not a bad piece of artwork, but it's unlikely to be part of the finished product, I guess. And I might make choices on other assets where it doesn't require like a color blend on the hairline. You know, I can have a style where the hair itself is more bordered. Yeah, whenever I start out doing like a quick mask by color, about half the time I end up switching to manually masking. That's the sad truth. I would like to believe that there was a really beautiful, fast way to mask all these. That was built into Photoshop. But I don't know. Maybe there isn't one. In all those pages that say, here's how to mask such and such. They're kind of talking through what you would do following the Adobe provides software, but they're not actually that practical. I mean, I've done those tutorials. I've done them. I've done many of them. Several tens. But when it comes down to what I'm doing, as opposed to the little example files that they give you, it usually does not work better than just manually. And here I am retouching my mask manually. Arguably, I would have been done with this faster if I started out manually. But anyways, I think that's okay. The tricky part in this is moving the mask over the right amount. Let's copy the layer, paste the layer. Mask. Okay, so that's exactly where I paste it. Sometimes Photoshop will offset the paste somewhere else, but this time it's exactly where I want it to be. So I can just add to this X value that's off to the right. It's underneath the chat window. Here, I'll move this in a little bit so people can see. So I can set this to 9 plus 512, which I know is the width of the asset. So 9 plus 512 is going to be 521. I got it wrong. Is it 9 plus 256? How big is this thing? Image, canvas size. 566, okay. Oh, it doesn't have a standard width. It's whatever irregular width I give it. So I can't use 512. It was half of 566 was, I think, 231. 283. Okay. Plus 9. 292. Let's try that. There we go. So that's the skin mask. I think I want to adjust the hue of it. Or, yeah, this is the best way to do it. If I just go brightness down to 0. The reason I'm adjusting this to be one color is because I'm going to be doing some blitz to perform the masking. And if I blit the mask, and I don't have the color operation set correctly, then it might, instead of using the mask as a way to apply the next image or the next operation, it might oh geez. All right, I'm simplifying the math so that it makes it clear when I'm doing my operations if I screw up, how I screwed up. So if I see like a big black image all over the screen, I'll know I didn't do my masking correctly. So that's why I set it to black. But other than that, it shouldn't be required. I'm not liking that this is just in a PNG, because it'll be hard for me to deal with it later. So let's take that and save it to the PSD. Billy head. Let's go back to work assets, faces, Billy. Billy head PSD. And there we go. I'm probably going to end up creating a hair mask too, but let me make sure that the face mask works okay, or the skin mask works okay. Okay, Because at some point I want to be able to recolor hair as well. Save that. File, export. Okay, public faces. Not parts. Billy head, PNG. Place that. Let's see if I broke anything. Probably did. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought would happen. So now I need to tell my code that handles the head rendering to do something a little bit different. Let me think about this. What's my design on this? In say on load, I want it to copy head and mask to separate bitmaps. Let's go over to render. So I might have to work backwards from my rendering logic. On render. On render, we will so oh, it's not on render at all. It's on load. It's all on load. Good. Okay. Yeah, an on render, but as normal. No masking needed. Okay. So here I would end up recolor. Okay. Okay, recolor as currently to pre-render. Okay. Set mask. But it should be when I do the next split. Set mask on, oh, let's see, no, split. Hold on, I'll be right back.
She's one of those in the first place. But do we understand?
Hey, just look away.
What a bruise.
Pushing on its own doesn't matter.
She violated. I've pushed people by accident.
I'd rather we not focus on her
That's a
actions.
bad look. He's upset, but he's always upset.
She's probably fine, but don't draw attention to
I
yourself.
don't care if she's a pusher.
What?
back to normal. Just wait a bit.
You want to ruin it for everyone else.
Send the other one and see what they say.
You're saying
Hey,
she's too
nobody
pushy.
died. You should be more
Can we get a beard in here? Why is it that hard? She just wanted people to clear a path.
She pushed someone.
She's one of those types.
At first glance. But do we understand?
Hey, just look away.
What a bruise.
Pushing on its own doesn't matter.
She violated. I've pushed people by accident.
I'd rather we not focus on the
That's a
actions.
bad look. He's upset, but he's always upset.
She's probably fine. But don't draw attention to
I
yourself.
don't care if she's a pusher.
What?
We'll go back to normal. Just wait a bit.
You want to ruin it for everyone else.
Send the other one and see what they say.
You're saying
Hey,
she's too
nobody
pushy.
died.
You should be more
Can we get a beard in here? Why is it that hard?
All right, back to it. All right, all right. So I'm saying currently in unload, I'm saying if there's no recolor profile, just return the original head bitmap. Otherwise, recolor bitmap by profile. That's going to return a bitmap. Okay, and from there, that's not going to a pre-render. That's going to a bitmap. Okay, so then take the pre-render condex, and then we want to, let's see, split original bitmap to pre-render context, split mask to pre-render context, split recolored bitmap to pre-render context, and that's it. It's not too bad. It's not bad at all. I think it's not going to be hard. Okay. So then let's call head width something, head width. Cool, it's divided by 2. Because now the whole bitmap will contain like 2 cells to it, or 2 columns. The pre-render context should just be no. I think it's okay. This operation shouldn't change the mask. Okay, but I do need the mask, so const skin mask bitmap equals recolored bitmap. Bam. That, but not just that. Oh, wait. Okay, I gotta wait. Okay. Alright, alright. Skin mask bitmap equals. You know, what I actually want here is skin mask bitmap. Okay, then I'll go up there. It'll come back with the skin mask bitmap. Original head bitmap will have the width and height. Recolored bitmap equals weight. Right. Okay, and then the pre-render context. Pre-render context, just clear it. Or I think I've got clear canvas, clear context, that one. Okay, and then I will split. Look at some other similar code so I don't have to think as hard. Over here I'll put as a reference my existing code for eyes. Or maybe let's move the head over here. Okay. And then mask. This is it. Okay, cool. I don't know if I really need to save and restore like this. I don't think I do. Just do bam, like that. Then I gotta split the mask first. So for that, it's pre-render context, draw image, skin, mask bitmap, to 0, 0. Before doing that, let's draw the original bitmap on top of it, because that'll give me the. No, I can't do that yet. I cannot do that yet. Okay, got it, fine. Okay, cleared it. Drew the mask. Next I gotta draw the recolored bitmap. That'll be source at top. Okay. Now I want to get a bitmap from the context. I'm trying to remember how to do that. It's not that hard. I've got some other code that does that inside of what is it? Image util. Yeah, image bitmap to image data. No, that's not what I want. Kind of the opposite is what I want. So I can get image data though, but once I have image data, then I get the bitmap. Okay. So why don't I just make a function that gets me a bitmap function? Context to image bitmap. Context. Canvas rendering context 2D, and it's going to return image bitmap. And I think it's probably going to be async. It'd be nice if it wasn't. Okay. So const image data is going to be context get image data 0 0, and it's going to be the width and height of the context. Okay, context width. Why can I not have the width of the context? Come on. Indian canvas, or let's see, get width of context of. Oh, I know why. I can get the width of the canvas. I just can't get the width of the context, but I can do canvas, and then that'll be width, context, canvas, height, right? Yeah, okay. And that is a promise? I think it's not. No, it's just image data. And if I've got the image data, I can do return, create image bitmap. I can pass in the image data. Okay. What? What? Promise. Okay. Await. And this has to be a promise. No, await async. Okay. So then go back to head. We say const head bitmap equals await context to image bitmap, pass in the pre-render context. Okay. Still, this isn't the whole thing. This isn't the whole thing. That'll give me just the skin. I also need the non-skin parts in this. So let's look at this composite operation, because I think there's another one that's like the opposite of source over. Or not source over, source at top. If I have the opposite, then I could do something like source, whatever the fuck it is, X. Then I do not the recolor bitmap, but the original bitmap. Yeah, so let me go see what the actual available options are. Mozilla, tell me. Okay, source. Yeah, I think it's source out. New shape is drawn where it doesn't overlap the existing canvas content. We can try it. Okay, and then if that works, then it's going to be return head bitmap. Okay, that's what used to be there. I'll leave it just for the moment. And then this I have to go fix. So let's go to load head bitmap. This isn't too bad. Okay, so it'll be bam. Await, create image bitmap 00 width height. And the mask will be right next to it. So So we just move over by width. What? There we go. This could work on the first try, but I think it's unlikely. I'm going to give it a 7% chance of working on the first try. Let's go take a look. Well, it did something. Something kind of weird, but it did something. Okay, so the eyes and mouth are being blipped by the original method, so they're kind of working as expected already. I need to disable code and just sort of build it back up one thing at a time to see where the first place where I screw up is. So let's do something like let's just draw the original head bitmap image in there, and or even here, let's just return. This is the simpler test. This is like just did we load in the original head bitmap correctly? We did. Okay, good. What about the recolor bitmap? What does that look like? Yeah, that's both those things are good. Okay, what about the skin mask bitmap? What does that look like? Yep. So I've confirmed that this loading in of these two parts is doing what it should. It's what we're doing in here that isn't quite up to par. Okay. So next I'm just going to try drawing the original head bitmap into the pre-render context, pulling that to this pre-render, and then getting the bitmap from that. That's working as expected. This is not bad. I'm kind of building up a little bit more at a time. If I put the mask in there first, should leave that. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, closing in on it. A part that's missing is this. Well, basically these two lines are not doing what's expected. Let's suppose that I take out the skin and I just do that. I think I'm starting to get what's happening. So I got it. I understand my mistake. So the problem is that the mask here, it's not like I'm continuously applying that same mask. When I blitz something else on top of it, that becomes the mask as well. Actually, I don't even know if that's correct. No, that's not it. Okay. So take out this. We're fine. Okay, so the pre-rendered canvas is going to look like everything except the eyes and the mouth there. And it should, in its state like that, it should serve as a mask that I can use to invert and split everything else outside of this area. But I think this operation doesn't work the way I thought it did. Because I thought it was going to exclude the current source of the pre-rendered context in this next split. But it seems to do something besides that. If I do this, the mask is still on with source at top. Yeah, it just splits over the top. Okay. If I do source out, if I do source out, it's not doing what I expect. So these pixels in the middle, I expected those to be not split to, but that's not how it actually works. I think what it does is what does it do with those pixels? It operates in those pixels. But what is the operation? Where does the white come from? Would it come from? Yeah, I don't know where the white comes from. Like something's deciding to operate on those pixels in a way that is undefined to me or unexpected. Let me see if there's some other options here that might be better. This might be the one, destination over. That might be a lot simpler, to be honest. New shapes are drawn behind the existing canvas con. Yeah, that might be it. That might be really what I need. Let's do destination over. Yeah, okay. Now I've got the edge pixel problem again. So I can increase my mask. That'll be the way to do it, honestly. Just increase the mask. Because the recoloring on these black pixels, it won't matter. It will not matter. So if I have the mask going into the black a little bit, that's going to get rid of those edge pixels. Almost there in this. This isn't a bad little session. Okay, so let's go back to Photoshop and redo this masking. And this time I'm just going to manual mask. Let's start by just grabbing a big chunk from the middle. Oop. Alright, that's most of it masked, but then I want to go and just manually get these edges. the nifty little masking tools in Photoshop, and somehow they're not as efficient than just manually masking. Especially when I've got like this sort of like a demilitarized zone on the black pixels. Okay. So here I'll just kind of err on the side of including pixels. I know that means if I go further in on these pixels that with skin recoloring it's not going to blend well against the hairline, but I think I can get around that artifact in the future just by designing the assets such that there aren't really hairlines that aren't bounded by an ink line. And the ink line is that sort of demilitarized zone where it's okay if it gets recolored because you can't tell any difference because it has zero saturation to it. Black has zero desaturation. Or, I said desaturation. Saturation. Past the hairline, that was the hard part. Come down here. It was a fair amount of work, so let's at least finish that and then start a new, what do you call it, operation. Now I'm just going right down the middle of these big black lines. It's real easy. I'm gonna be so sick of this face before it's all over. Okay, where's the... Okay, close that up. Okay. So I think this will get rid of the artifacts. Let's see. Go ahead and delete this guy. Take this guy, copy, paste. Okay, that. That's my mask. Let's move it over. What was the offset I found? 292. Jeez, now I'm not sure. Let's do the calc fresh. Image adjustments. By the way, this is the kind of stuff I'm doing right here that fucks up artists. You tell them what I'm doing here as far as like you have to move this one layer over an exact amount. It's the kind of shit which just takes forever to explain. So it does bother me a little bit that I'm doing this. So the thing I need to do is find out the width of this overall thing. So that's 566. So that means the next column is going to start at the halfway point here, which is 566 divided by 2. 566 divided by 2, 283, right? And then I'm just going to add that to the x value. So plus 7, 290. Okay. So take this and we say 290. Bam. Okay. And then do I want to set this to black? I don't need to. So let's just save that and then export that. I don't think I need to. Okay, where's public faces? No, parts. Billy head, PNG. Save that. Replace it. Okay, now let's see. Did I get rid of the artifacts around the edges? I did. That fixes it. Now it's the same thing for the eyes and mouth. I guess let's just do eyes next. It won't take too long. Okay. Let's say canvas size is going to double to 512. Okay. Okay, so here, similar to what I was just doing, I'm masking out just the areas that contain skin. Which are these like little blue things? Okay. Then we'll have to think later. Is there just some way I can make this super automatic? I honestly wish I didn't have to make this mask. It bugs me. Because I know that this same activity is going to be multiplied by many more art assets. Taking some care not to mask the exterior blending pixels because I would like them to blend against whatever is outside of the asset. Yeah. I'm just picturing conversations with artists. I'm picturing the assets coming back, and I'd say, yeah, but it's got like little problems with the mask. Can you redo the mask, but have it include more pixels? And how do I know which ones to include and stuff like that? So it's kind of weighing on me a little bit here. The future consequences months from now of decisions I'm making today. On the plus side, from the rendering engine, this new way of doing it, it offers a lot of control. It gets pretty good results for rendering. It doesn't take too long. It can all be done at load time rather than render. There might be a good automated way to generate the mass. I gotta experiment with that a little bit. Okay, so let's say contiguous. tolerance 5. Okay. Yeah, one thing at a time. I can come back and see if there's ways to automate it. At some point, I need to put away the faces and get to the other stuff that's part of this storytelling framework. I think I'm fairly close to getting to a point where I can say the animated faces are good enough to move on to the next part. What will be the next part? Next part I want to tackle is given an audio file, can I generate the lip animation automatically? And this is something that I've worked on many different versions of it in the past, but I'm going to do it a new way next time. The algorithm that I'm going to try is do speech recognition on the audio file using this thing called VOSC. So it'll generate a transcription and then use something like Rita to break out the phonemes from the recognized words. And then, using the phonemes and the positions of the recognized words that came from VOSC, speech recognition, calculate a best guess of where the phonemes are in time. And then once I have that best guess of the phonemes, run that through the last thing, which is assign bisemes to the phonemes. And there's some rules to all of that assignment of bisemes that come from just hundreds of hours of me manually animating lips. There's things like you don't want to have too many bisemes, too many changing frames of the mouth together. Like you want to slow it down and like maybe do one frame every like at 10 frames per second is probably like the fastest you want to be changing bisemes in your mouth animation. Otherwise, it just looks like the mouth is just crazy busy. Other rules are some bisemes that are more rare, like FV or L, W, Q, O. You favor showing those instead of common bisemes like consonants, E and bisemes, because those ones are so common they don't really pop when animating a mouth. So I'm optimistic that I can make a pretty great automatic lip animation algorithm, because I've seen the failings of other ones. The failing tends to be that they're based upon detecting phonemes from the audio stream. And that denies the stylistic art of animation from occurring. Because you could use some kind of machine learning type thing to say, given this audio stream, what are the phonemes? Phonemes are specific utterances that your mouth makes. And then just line those up directly to the visemes. That's the visual expression of a given utterance. But there's something better about knowing that a word has an F in it, even if when the speaker speaks, they don't say fuck you. If they say fuck you, they just kind of left off that F from their actual utterance, but that is the word. Okay? They say fuck you, it just, for whatever reason, they didn't articulate that F that well. The algorithm that processes over the audio wave would not return the F. That's why if you can fill in that missing information and actually know what the word is, and you pass that known word to the next layer, which is going to assign visemes to it, then you get a chance to make lip animation that pops. It's not great, not like Disney or Pixar quality, but like TV quality, like Rick and Morty quality, Simpsons quality. So that's my little secret weapon to see if I can do lip animation better than what I've seen in other automated solutions. I looked at the one that comes with Toon Boom, not recently. It was maybe like 10 years ago, something like that. Maybe it's a lot better now. But it was kind of like, oh, look, we did a bunch of work for you, but you can do the rest yourself. And you have to go in and hand edit and kind of fix up all the little mistakes it made. At that point, it's faster to just do all the lip animation yourself. Just do it all yourself. Another technique that people use is take an actor while they're talking and put some kind of motion tracking on their lips, whether it be image processing on the frames of video coming in, or like magnetic dots that are markers for positions of their mouth. But that ignores, again, the stylizing that animators perform when they're creating lip animation. You will succeed with that method in recreating what the actor did with their mouth, and it will look kind of right, it'll look correct, but it won't have flair to it. It won't have any exaggeration to give you the and fuck you, right? So that is my guy's mask here. Took a fair amount of time. Again, I don't like that, but in the future I may find a way to automate it and it won't be so bad. So like, copy that, paste that. This will be the mask. Okay. And then my canvas side, I believe it's 512. It is. So that means the X value of my mask needs to add 512 to it. So this is going to be 562. What? You know when you press a button and it did something to the windows in the display as opposed to your content, so you cannot just do an undo? That's just what happened just now. What the fuck did I do? If all I had to do was just an undo, I could go back to where I was. Is it screen mode? Standard screen mode. That's where I am. Ugh. God, I hate it when... Okay. So you just decided to kind of tuck in. I don't know if you did anything for me at all. I just changed a value here. It didn't actually do anything. Why is this? I hate that. How do I stop that? I hit some key that made the start disappearing whenever I go out. And also this X didn't change. So where's like the... What's this? What's this? No, stay out, stay out. No, don't just... What is the mode that I picked somehow that's deciding to hide everything away where I'm not? There is no undo on this. Screen mode, no. Actual site, no. New guide, yeah. I hate stuff like that. Just hate it. Windows, no. Workspace. Oh, yeah. I'll give up on it in a second. Because I've got like over here, there's some shit that I always use. And now it's like hiding on me. Okay. Then what's the exact right search term to use to get this? Photoshop. Stop. Hiding. Stop hiding panels. Stop auto hide. Yeah. Layers panel keeps hiding unexpected. What? How do I turn that shit off? That's it. I just pressed the key and now I'm like in the same purgatory as these two people. I just pressed the key. That's all. I pressed enter. Those two people couldn't figure it out. Turn off auto hide. Turn it off. If I turn off auto show hidden panels, okay, let me see. Preferences. Workspace. I'll try that. Now, will you just bring them back out? That would be great if you would. No, I need those just to... I need that option just to be able to get them now. Just restore the default. Still? And now I can't even get that. God, that's annoying. Now I can't even... Ah. Okay. And these guys are fucked too. I'm just gonna try to limp along, and like worst case, at some point I'll just uninstall. I'll uninstall Photoshop and reinstall it, and just delete everything. And if I have to do it, that This really fucking annoys me, but whatever. Okay, so every single time I want to use this, I have to drag over to here. Okay, then this guy. I guess this is a good way to get me to learn all the keyboard shortcuts. Okay, so this is the mask. I think it's selected. I don't know because I got to come over here, get this guy to come out. Is it selected? It's not. Eyes are selected. Okay, mask. Now I see you at 562, but you're not actually doing anything there. Okay. 562. Okay, then let's view. Show the layer edges. Okay, you're way out over there. So I put that too far. I did my calculation incorrectly. Let's undo that. Undo layer visibility. Undo move. Okay, now you're back there. Then I go to my canvas and get the size. 512. Okay, so I should have added half of it. So 256 plus 40 is 296. See, this is the thing that I'm pretty sure is going to mess up a whole bunch of artists. Okay, 296. And then just save this as the PSD. Billy eyes. PSD, overwrite the PSD. And let's export the PNG, which is the actual asset used by the engine. Go to here, place that. Okay. Now I've got that new asset. Now let's go. I'm going to try closing Photoshop. And then just reopen it. Maybe I'll get that sorted out. But while it's reloading Photoshop, I'll come back over here and start working on my eyes masking. Shouldn't be too hard. I did it once successfully with the head, so I just kind of have to do the same thing again. Okay. So eyes component state, and then there's no, it shouldn't be in on load. Everything should be in on load. So I'll come up here. So it's going to load bitmaps. And this is where I would also return. No, I don't have to return anything. It's just all going to happen inside of there. Is that right? Yes. Okay. So go up. Load bitmaps. Let's see how fucked up it looks before I change the code. Does it even work at all? Oh, still works. Yeah, it's working. Cool. All right. Okay, so load the image. Image to left and right irises. Let's get the skin. Skin mask bitmap equals skin mask. To skin mask bitmap. There's a question. Do I want to do it that way? Do I want to get that skin mask bitmap right here? Or do I want to get them inside the generate emotionals? I think that's where I want to get them. So let's take that out. I don't need that for okay. Lids bitmap. I think I might be missing the lids. Next. Skip. Go away. Let's open this. Yes. Okay, this shit came back. Good. That was terrible. Terrible. Okay, I'll do the lids too. They also need a skin mask. Right, you know, I think I could also fix like another thing that has been kind of crummy. No, don't worry about it right now. Don't worry about it right now. Stay focused. Stay focused. So these guys, honestly, the whole thing is what I need. So let's just select all and then subtract all the mask above. Minus that. Okay. I'm so glad Photoshop is fixed from that weird state. That sucked. Okay, eyes. Copy. Paste. Lid mask. Okay, and this, we just say it goes over 35 plus 256. Be cool if I could just go plus 256. Will that work? It does. I don't know if it did. No, it did. It did. It did. So I was mad at Photoshop, and now I'm happy with Photoshop. So it's a wash. Okay, save that. Export that. Okay, come back to here. Okay, think about this now. So I think every place where I recolor, I need to get some kind of mask involved. So we do lids bitmap, lids skin mask bitmap. And then if we've got that, it's going to be enough new code. I think I'll refactor it into another function. Okay. Image to put it up in here. Okay, it can just all go up inside of here. And then the recoloring as well. Okay, so say let's bitmap equals that. But it's going to end up being a const because the recolor profile is going to get passed in. Okay, so recolor profile, and then pre-rendered context will get passed too. Okay. Okay. So this will come into here. Const lids bitmap equals await that. Okay. If not recolor profile, then just return lids bitmap. Otherwise, const skin mask bitmap equals wait, create image bitmap, image x size, let's do x skin mask. See x eyes, see y eyes, and this will be y lids. Okay, so that, and x skin mask, let's just define that up here. Okay. Okay, then I want to do the same thing I did over here. Okay, we'll clear the context. Okay, actually just copy this over. Change it as needed. Okay. Const recolored bitmap. So first we draw the bitmap or the mask. Okay. Then we draw the recolored, then we draw original. I'll even just call it original bitmap. Then do that. Original bitmap. Okay. Then just get this guy again and return it. So in other words, return that like that. Okay, that does the lids. So here I need to pass in the recolor profile and the pre-rendered context. I'm upset. Why is that not here? It's right here. It's right there. What is the issue? What's the complaint? It could be null. Okay, that's a good complaint. Okay, I believe this can be a constant. Since it's all getting updated in that function I called, I just const it. Then the rest will be inside of there. But let's see if the lids came through all right. Yep, got the lids. Oh wait, no. No, we have the lids, but it happens that they're not a good test of the masking because they just entirely are included. So let's move on to the overlays part of the eye, which is in this function, generate emotionals. Okay. Okay, which is going to be inside of this function. It's already getting past everything is needed. Whew. A lot of code here. Okay, let me think about this. So it's starting out with that, but let's have a return. Let's have a return the skin mask too. This will be skin mask. Okay, so that'll return the two bitmaps for the overlays and a corresponding skin mask that goes with it. I should say one overlay for one emotion that dye expresses. Okay, so that returns that. This is fairly complex already. Let me at least break this up a little bit. Okay. I don't need to take into account all this stuff. I'm getting the overlay image data recolored. I don't need to. In fact, okay, I think okay. I'm going to get it all inside of this function, and I may refactor a few things because it's long and a little bit hard to follow. But first, let's get it to work. So clear the context, pre-render context. And just copy all this stuff over. this will be the skin mask bitmap gets put there first. Then we do okay, let's stick to the original and separate recolored. Okay. Okay. This is non-optimally coded right now. Okay, let over recolored bitmap. Let's tuck it away a little bit. Okay, if recolor profile it's going to be overlay bitmap. Which bitmap equals or null. I can do better. I'll just do that. What equals undefined? Okay. Irritating. This code's going to change anyways. Okay, so or null. Okay. So in this case, we say the recolored bitmap will equal that. We pass in original bitmap, color profile, yeah, all that. Okay, then to do the clear context, and then all this other stuff. Otherwise, overlay bitmap equals original bitmap. Okay, like that. Okay, let's think about this. So I'm gonna go get the original. Well, up above, I got the original bitmap and the skin mask. Here I get a recolored version. Here I mask, or I put my mask down for the next operation. I draw the recolored bitmap from here into the pre-render. Then I draw the original bitmap underneath of it to fill in any missing pixels. Then set this to overlay bitmap. Why do you say it's redundant? What would you do instead? Really? Okay. I'm good with that. The stuff underneath should not need to change in any way. Okay, and then down here, overlay bitmap is going to get set. And that's it. Okay, that looks pretty good. This I can get rid of. I know that function is working. The old code no longer useful. Okay, going back to here. It's good. It's good. But I can see that I wasn't inclusive enough with my masking. So around the edges here, I got to mask a little bit better. Other than that, the code is right. The code is correct. So yeah, I'm gonna go fix that mask. But it's nice that I got the code right and it didn't take too much. So I mean, this is kind of a hack, but it'll work just fine. If I just extend the amount of space it uses out a little bit. Okay, so blending options, and I'll set stroke on it. 2. Let's go ahead and do 3. 3 should be fine. Okay, then just export that. I think I'm good. No. Why would adding those pixels like that? Huh. I guess it makes sense. I guess it makes sense because I didn't have any pixels to draw on top of the mask from this bitmap. So one way I could fix this and make it a little more robust is by using a different operation. I think I can fix it with this. There's source in, source, what is it? Source in, it's like an and instead of just one or the other. Okay, let's try that. I'm also wondering if I just make all of these source in, if that's better. So this is head. Let's find that source in. No, that's not what I want. This one, source in. Yeah. Now, since I like that on that bit of code, maybe I like it in the other places too. It would be consistent at least. We change the top to in. That works. Okay. This I can delete. Okay. So that's the eyes, that's the head. Let's double check that it works for everything. It's looking good. It's looking good. It's looking good. So for that, I could do a similar thing and just add around it. Yeah, let's do that. Copy the layer style. Go down to the lid mask. Paste the layer style. Export. Billy Eyes PNG. No, that's work assets. Public parts. Replace. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, like this here is from pixels around the overlay, which I could hand edit those. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Okay. Mouth is what comes next. The mouth is in weird shape, so I'll be happy to get that fixed up. Okay, let's do the mouth. I did the hardest coding already, so I'll probably be done with this in not too long. So here, I'm going to change my masking technique a little bit. Now I'll just go beyond. Okay. And that way I can avoid having to do the little trick that I just used to expand the pixels. You know, it occurs to me while I'm working on this, this is not fun for anybody to watch. I get some kind of weird joy in creating content that just simply shows that writing games, making little animated faces and stuff, while it can be very fun, if you're the sort of person that just kind of needs a quick reward from everything you do in order to keep moving on it, go find something else to do besides writing games. A lot of younger people trying to figure out, what am I going to do with my life? They start to think about like the things that are like really enjoyable to them, and say, what if that was my job? You know, what if it was my job to play football? I love playing football. What if it was my job to draw pictures? I love drawing pictures. Or make computer games. I mean, I really like to play video games, so wouldn't it be cool to have a job making them? Maybe. But it's not enough to just enjoy playing video games. To be good at it, or even to enjoy the process of creating them. And this is something that a lot of people have learned the hard way. So here's another trap. Suppose you find out, you know what, I really do like making games. I've made video games several times on my own, they might say themselves. And it was a blast. what if my job was to make video games? Well, it's not going to be the same thing. It's not going to be the same thing when you go get a job for electronic arts or even just like some little indie place, it's just not going to be the same experience. It won't be your game that you get to make. You'll be making somebody else's. Maybe that game is cool though, maybe it is something you want to work on. You won't get paid that much compared to where you could take your skills elsewhere in the marketplace. So when you get to the point where you're a pretty reasonable game developer and you've got the talents to get that job, you may find that you enjoy programming in general, and there's nothing really specific to game programming that is extra exciting, particularly when you're making somebody else's games as opposed to yours, which is a much more creative process. And at that point, since you've got the skills to pay the bills, you could get a job not writing games but writing other kinds of code. Probably enjoy it about as much as writing game code. Get paid about 50% more. That's another lesson a lot of people learn. But you're already heading uphill if you pick something that is kind of an obvious or frequently chosen aspiration for many other people. Because we live in a capitalist society. Whether we like it or not, we have to compete. And the prices people get paid and how well they're treated and things like that, they're based upon market value. A lot of people say teachers definitely don't get paid enough for the important job that they do. The wage that they get paid is not based upon the value to society. It's based upon what you have to pay to attract enough people to do the job. And there's a bunch of teachers, like artists and poets and game developers and wedding stationery makers, that said, what do I want to do? I like kids. I like working with kids. I would love to make a difference in the world. These are noble aspirations. Well, they certainly can be. But you're kind of fucked as soon as you pick something that a lot of people also want to do. You'll have to work harder to get to the same place, apples to apples, in another job that you pick that not that many people want to do. Plumber. That's a kind of a go-to example. I don't know anything about plumbing, but if you were okay with plumbing, if you were okay with just kind of the physical scrunching around in tight spaces and dealing with sloppy fluids plopping out and getting wet, dealing with a little gray water every now and then, a little black water every now and then. Oh, gross. You'll be not competing with nearly as many people for that job. You'll get paid well. In terms of the capabilities you bring and what the market offers, you'll get paid quite well. Because nobody says, I want to be a plumber. A lot of people say, I want to be an artist. A lot of people say, I want to be a musician. A lot of people say, I want to be an influencer. I want to be an influencer. I want to be a streamer. I'll just stream myself playing games. Pretty competitive. Just a ton of people doing that. What are you doing that's so great that's going to make you rise above everyone else? So, I don't know. That's the thing. If you pick something you want to do and a whole bunch of other people want to do it too, get ready for a rough ride, because you will not escape the competition. If I wanted to be a rock star and people didn't really like playing music that much, all I'd have to do to fill up a stadium is just like learn 3 guitar chords and everybody come and listen to it. Okay, keep going. Yeah, I'm just shuddering at the thought of explaining this masking business to a graphic artist. It feels like one of those things where I ask for them to do it and they give it a shot, but I end up going and fixing it all up myself. You might wonder why I don't just plan to do it all myself. I'm not too bad of an artist. It's just, I don't have that much time. I'm not here just to do all this stuff just for fun. Honestly not. The thing that gets me excited, like, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy a lot of the work. Like in the same way some people enjoy going out and working in their garden, you know. Can get into a flow. There's some problems in it that are interesting to solve. The art, yes, also the art. Sometimes there's moments where it's pretty enjoyable. I would definitely rather do this than gardening. But the thing that gets me really excited is where I will get when the final vision is released and like the game engine this works towards is doing all the things I want it to do, and it's something that people can play and try out for themselves, and that's the part that really motivates me. I think there's completing the thing and saying I'm done, the thing I set out to do, I'm done. Then there's beyond that, there's people trying it out and you just having an audience, or me just having an audience. So if I'm really going to get rewarded with all this stuff, I want all 3 things. The joy of doing the work, the joy of completion, the joy of the experience that I designed being had by other people. So if I only was worried about the joy of the task itself, probably be interested in spending more time just doing things by myself, as opposed to thinking about other people doing the work for me, getting paid to do it. Well, also, like, this masking stuff isn't that much fun. It's just okay. It's just an okay task. I'm like mildly impatient with the whole thing. Mildly. I did used to have a job as a game artist for a short amount of time. A few months, something like that. I had a pretty sweet gig there. Pretty great job for somebody who's not a real professional. I just said, the lady said who was managing the project, just said, okay, just go ahead and make your own assets and whatever you want to do there. Also, you can kind of spec out the game that's going to get released. You pick a theme. I mean, we want to approve it, but just your idea first. And but you go ahead and draw up the assets however you want. And so I end up picking a fantasy theme and drawing some shit with a Wizard's Workshop as one backdrop. This is for a match 3 game, like back in the early aughts. I had like another one that was had 4 fantasy backgrounds. And like I said, I got to choose exactly what they were going to be. And working 40 hours a week, making digital art, even when it was exactly what I wanted to make, was so fatiguing. I longed to go back to writing code while I was doing that. At the end of the day, eyes very tired, hands very tired, and some kind of fatigue around just not thinking that hard, but having to concentrate on getting many small operations correct. I found it pretty unpleasant as the bulk of the work I was doing, just a day-to-day activity. And keep in mind, I spent thousands and thousands of hours making art over my lifetime. But when I did it professionally, for another project, not my own, and was expected to kind of do a big chunk of that work every day, did not like it. Wore me out. I'm grateful that I got a chance to do that. I'm also grateful that it was set up as an experiment so well for me to see that this was not what I wanted to do with my life. Because if I was doing something like making a letterhead or a logo, a company logo, or making some icons for a website, then I would be able to fool myself into thinking, well, this is boring to me and tedious to me because it's work that isn't in line with the type of art I would normally want to make. That's what I would have told myself. And then it would take longer. It would have taken longer for me to figure out, this is not the work I want to do. This is not how I want to spend my time. Not large amounts of it anyways. I can see the vertical scroll bar on the right of this pane here. It looks like I'm maybe 4/5 done. And I am starting to get bored of it. That is for sure, but not too much more. If I did a bad mask on all of these, and it needs a whole pass through again, I'm not going to do it on stream. I'll just fix up the code to work with the mask I've got and move on. And then might be on a future stream I come back to this problem of automatically generating these masks, because it feels like I've got enough information in this image, this particular set of images. This blue color is not represented anyplace else. Even if it's not fully automated, but it's just something like I can do a few seconds on each mouth rather than a few minutes, that would be something that wins. We got one more, two more, two more. Okay, cool. Because this is boring. I'm officially bored of this now. Good thing I'm almost done. But yeah, in the unlikely event that anyone is watching this, I hope you get the lesson. This is what game development is. When you saw me looking at that function too, and you're just like, what are they doing? There's an overlay bitmap, and there's he's got a mask bitmap. What is a mask? How are they combined together? What's all this text? It looks boring, looks super boring. Sorry, that's how you make games. I mean, maybe there's some visual programming stuff that lets you get a ways, but in the end, like if you want to be any good at making games, you gotta write code, and it's a lot of your time. It's not a little bit of your time. Now, if you're an indie game developer, you're not going to get away from this pixel jockeying work, because there won't be someone on your team that's going to handle all that for you. Probably won't be. Probably won't be. If it's just like your own effort, and you haven't found some partner that really wants to do all the graphic stuff, and you're just on your own, yeah, you got to do a ton of this kind of work. Now you might say, well, you're doing 2D stuff, I'm going to do 3D. Okay, you're going to be in Blender. You're going to be in Photoshop again, or to edit textures that go onto your models. You're going to be fiddling around with lighting to color your scene correctly. You're going to be doing your scene placement. You're going to bring in your models from Blender or some other workflow that's somewhere, placing them in the scene. You're going to be fixing up lighting, etc. It's just, unless you have like a team where there's division of labor, that work, some amount of it is inescapable, and you also will be kind of crappy at it. You might even be like a good programmer, but you won't be as good as like the best pixel artist if you're doing programming and also kind of in a jack of all trades way, doing a little bit of sound and a little bit of image manipulation, etc., etc., etc. Most indie game devs, there were about 3 to 5 hats that are things that they can do okay, but they're not anywhere near the top at. And that can get frustrating if you're comparing yourself to the output of medium-sized studios. I didn't get around to AAA. I'm just saying, like a medium-sized studio, some studio where they'll spend $1 million on a game release, maybe like a Team 17, one of the earlier versions of Worms or something. Yeah, or that small team that put out like Populous and Darwinia and Prison Architect. That's like a medium-sized studio at this point. I forget the name of that company. Ron Gilbert's Grumpy Gamer. Is that the name of his production company? I don't know. Ron Gilbert's production company. That's going to be a medium-sized team. That's going to be like $1 million budget on one of his games, even though it's considered indie. So like if you're like one of these really like super indies, low budget, one person doing most of the stuff, maybe a few contractors, consistently you're going to have this sort of brokenheartedness about what you can do with your jack of all trades skills when you get your game done, compared to the efforts of people who are more specialized. That's just how it's gonna go. That's how it's gonna go. Okay. Now let's take... Oh shit, nope. Give me my mouse back. Copy that. Paste that. Okay, now I'm back in safe land. Mask. Mouth. Okay. Canvas size. 512. Okay, so this guy, it's gonna go out 256 characters, so I can do this new trick I found. Do 45 plus 256. Do a tab over. There we go. Okay, that part's good. File. Save. So I've been like complaining heavily about a future problem of explaining to an artist how to make these masks. It's not that bad. Now that I think about it further, it's not that bad of a problem. Okay, so faces, let's make sure you get Billy saved here. I can take a little movie of me doing it, and I can explain it, and I can teach an artist how to do the same thing. It's not that bad. I'm overblowing it. No question, I'm overblowing it. Okay. Get the mask in there. Public. Parts. Billy mouth ping. Bam. Replace it. Okay. Let's see if the old code or current code still works with the new bitmap. It does. So now I just have to change the code. Okay. There was one place I want to be careful about. Okay, this is still a top. Leave that at the top. That's fine. Leave that. So then let's go to mouth. Okay, and then recolor. Wherever I'm recoloring, that's where I'm going to have to put in this new logic. Image to motion bitmaps. This is it. So create const x skin mask equals cx mouth. Let's order this so I can use that. Okay. Then go back to recolor. Oh, I gotta do both these. Okay. Okay. do let bitmap image or let's see, let bitmap image bitmap or null. Then we say if recolor profile. Then we'll do this complicated way. Okay. Actually, I can do it this way. Const original bitmap equals await that. Okay. If recolor bitmap, then we say const recolored bitmap equals that. We'll pass original bitmap to that. Okay, then we do an else down here. Okay, bitmap equals original bitmap. Okay. Since I can push, I think just push the original bitmap. Then I don't need that let stuff on this up here. Okay, so we'll say original bitmap. We're gonna push that. Okay, then down here we also have to do something. Okay, like that. Okay. So let's copy this over. Skin mask bitmap. It's going to be similar to this other line, just grabbing from different coordinates. Whoops, not this line. This line. But this will be X skin math or skin mask. That one. Okay, cool. Since I'm doing this calculation twice, let's just calculate that y value one time. Const y equals, or let's say y math equals y value y math. Okay, y math equals that, and then this just becomes y math. Okay. Got recolored. And this is going to be original bitmap. Okay, and then here I just do, instead of assign to a variable, I'll just push it. It's got to be in await. I really love how TypeScript finds problems for me like that. Okay, tighten this up a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna do the same kind of thing beneath. clear the context. Does feel like this little bit here can be pulled out. Thinking about a little bit further. I just wonder if I could get away with making a function that takes all of this. It's very similar code in all those different places. I think it would be more like this. Okay, let me make sure this works before I try to refactor. So I'll come down here and I'll do the same thing, and it's going to look heavily redundant, but it'll be all right. The Y calculation is different. Okay, so if recolor profile, then we clear the context and do all this stuff. Okay, gotta do the recoloring too. Where's that? Where's the skin mask from? There. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I'll make sure it works, and then after I know it works, I will get to refactoring. Because this is just very redundant code. Okay. So it kind of worked. Looks like the mask did not include enough pixels. I know how to fix that. It's a trick. I'm surprised they're all off on the right side. Makes me wonder if I didn't adjust the mask correctly. I'll look for other problems besides that. Yeah, it's all skewed to the right. In every case. That's probably the mask imagery is off. The code's working as expected. So this one it's really pronounced, so I'm going to use it as a reference point. I'm going to go over to Photoshop. Okay, what was it? That's U down towards the bottom. Oh, these are emotions. Okay, come back up. Okay, FEL. This is MVP. This is probably the one right here. What does this mean? What does this actually mean? So the mask that's being used is not extending far enough to the right. Possibly by a few pixels. Let's just move it a couple of pixels and see what happens. File, export. Okay. It's in better shape. Maybe I just didn't position the mask correctly. Let me move it a little bit further. Again, it's all on the right side. It's not on the left. Z, man, you're catching me right at the end of my stream. Oh. Okay, let's see if that fixed it. I did. I made some very good progress. Did I go a little too far on the other way? Let's see, you. Yeah, now it's starting to miss this side. Okay, I can see what's going on. So I'm doing like an automatic recoloring algorithm. I'll demo in a second. I'm just trying to get this crud off the lips. I think this. I can't use my same trick that I used to use. Just adding like an extra layer around this because it'll do the interior too, and that will expose more pixels. Okay, quick export is ping. Okay, that's probably as good as I can get without doing like pixel level edits on the asset, which I probably will do later. But anyway, so that blue is still showing. I know I can fix that just by increasing the mask, but I don't have the appetite to pixel edit the mask right now. Done too much of that today. So just to demo a little bit, Alright, this is the face. And if I go into my settings file, and I say I don't want to be black, I want to be pale white. I come back here and it loads in all the assets again, but it recolors everything so that it's pale white now. So all the assets involved in the sprite sheets get adjusted. It's not just picking a different asset that was previously authored, but it's actually recoloring all the pixels. So I've got 6 different color profiles for different types of skin in the world. So I do medium brown. Oops. Moderate brown is what it's called, not medium. Yeah. So that's basically it. And then I just gotta enlarge the mask a little bit. But I won't do that right now. Alright. So I might be best to do this refactoring thing while it's fresh on my mind. No, it's 6 o'clock. I'm gonna save that for tomorrow. Alright. Z, thanks for stopping by. I'm going to take off here. Whoever else might be on. Thanks for hanging out. And I'm going to shut it down. I'm going to shut down YouTube, buddy. Stop in the stream.
She's one of